however, planned her crime with an
Crazy.
entire community, and she did this at just 15 years old.
I just heard
Dang.
sobbing and the teacher and she was screaming like, ah, my leg, help, help.
On the morning
Whoa.
of December 16, 2024, a 15-year-old girl locked herself in a bathroom stall at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. She proceeded to post this on X, a white supremacist hand sign, and then a link to a 6-page
Yo, wait, this is a white supremacist hand sign? What? Everybody's a racist. Dude, I've known so many people that just do that, like the whole below the belt or you get punched thing. I don't know. That's wild. That's wild. I had no idea.
document she titled War Against Humanity, and one person replied, live stream it, but nobody called the police.
Ambulances
Ooh, what the
screamed
heck?
through the streets of Wisconsin's capital city. Once again, gunshots had echoed through another American classroom, this time inside a small Christian school.
Now the story starts in Madison, Wisconsin in 2009, when Natalie Lynn Rupnow was born to Jeffrey and Melissa Rupnow in the city's metropolitan area. Now sometime in her early teen years, she began to go by Samantha, though no one seems to know exactly why. Now Samantha would go on to have a deeply unstable upbringing. Her parents married for the first time in 2011, 2 years after she was born, only to divorce and then remarry 2 more times over the next 10 years. And because of this, Samantha was constantly
That's
shuffled between her
complicated.
parents' houses every time they separated, and on some occasions, she even had to switch between houses every few days. Now this eventually came to an end in April of 2020. She even had to switch between houses every few days. Now this eventually came to an end in April of 2021, when her parents divorced for the last time. Now as she was only at the time, Samantha struggled with the separation, and this became clear shortly afterwards, when Jeffrey received a call from Samantha's principal, informing him that Samantha had been saying certain things at school that suggested she might be a danger.
The defendant met with the principal and was informed that NLR was using self-harm language. NLR was seen at the emergency room, and the assessment said that there was no intimate threat of self-harm.
To herself. Now, not long after that, Jeffrey made another discovery that deeply worried him. He found a small, sharp object hidden in Samantha's room, and he also noticed marks on her arm
What?
that suggested she'd been using it on her.
A small sharp object in their food. Wait. Did I hear that right? The defendant believed that there was blah 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 blah. Am I crazy? Did he say food? Hold up.
Object hidden in Samantha's room, and he also noticed marks on
In
her
her
arm
room.
that suggested she'd been using it on herself. Now Jeffrey panicked and immediately decided to lock up all the knives in the house. Now by October 2021, Samantha was enrolled in therapy, and on the intake form under "What is the reason you're coming in for counseling?" Jeffrey wrote on her behalf anxiety, depression, anger, and self-identification. And when then asked whether she'd ever had thoughts of ending it all, he wrote, "She talks about it. I don't take it too seriously. I think she's just really looking for attention."
Bro, that's a problem, okay? Parents not taking their kids seriously when they're talking like that, bro, that's not normal. Kids should not be talking in that way. And I think it should be taken seriously no matter what. Not to the point where somebody acts crazy to them, but like, help them, bro. Help them.
She talks.
That's not right.
Now, the year following the last divorce, a final custody agreement was reached between Samantha's parents. The plan was that they were still going to share custody, but from then on, Samantha would primarily live with Jeffrey. But despite all the mental turmoil and self-destructive thoughts, Samantha somehow managed to keep her grades up, and as a result, her school thought she was coping with her home troubles. But in reality, she wasn't. Instead, her declining mental state
That's
showed
stupid.
herself online. In June of 2023, Samantha signed up on a website called WatchPeopleDie.tv, a gore-focused site full of graphic and unfiltered videos of violence, loss of life, and serious accidents.
Whoa, dude. That's not the only site like that on the internet. It's not the only place where stuff like that is glorified, but that's crazy. That's crazy as hell. It's like Instagram for shot content.
And she would frequent the website and watch videos for hours on end. Now around
Ooh.
this same period, she also began to find community in an extremist Discord server tied to pink pill and femcide ideologies. Now these ideologies frame societal relationships as a hierarchy, with attractive women at the top and everyone else shut out. Now she referred to her classmates as vibrants, a term for people who she viewed as too happy and socially functional, because in her mind, the loneliness she felt wasn't a result of bad luck, it was genetic. Now as she sunk deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole, Samantha began to author her manifesto, a document where she laid out her hatred for humanity and her beliefs that shaped how she saw the world. She called it War Against Humanity. Now at the start of 2024, she transferred to Abundant Life Christian School, a small private school in Madison, Wisconsin. There, she made pretty much no friends, spoke rarely, and spent lunch periods on her phone talking to a bunch of people she met online. She would later document her experience at the school in her manifesto, saying, "I've always been a quiet kid, I'd say, or at least that's what everyone else around me has said, and never really had the brains for most things because I wasn't smart enough for people around me."
Bro, so many kids feel this way, and I feel like it's so common that it's almost normal. I don't know. I don't think every kid feels this way, but sometimes these kind of kids and these kind of people in general, because sometimes these people grow up and still don't know exactly what they want and don't know exactly like what they're gifted at. I feel like they just haven't found something that they actually enjoy and they haven't put enough time into things. That's where you hear the term like apply yourself. That doesn't mean like do better all the time. I think that that means like actually showing up, actually being present, actually trying, and like finding interest in the things that you can. Not everything is going to be fun, but like to an extent, that whole not smart enough could just be them believing that and them not trying hard enough because of it. Because they're basically telling themselves, I've already failed. What's even the point? Blah, blah, blah. It's not helpful mindset. But a lot of times I think it is just that it's a mindset in their brain. Because I mean, everybody, I feel this way sometimes, you know?
Even though I'm good at science and some stuff, nobody really looked at me in a good way in elementary or middle school, nor even high school right now. Doesn't matter much because I like being alone. Now by early 2024, Samantha
Obviously
stopped going
not.
to therapy. Her parents agreed that she would take a break over the summer, and if issues came up at her new school, they would simply re-enroll her. But when school started, Jeffrey described Samantha's issues as minor, so she never actually went back. But Samantha wasn't exactly devastated about this. In her manifesto, she wrote, "My therapist sucks. He's just some weak and fat guy who doesn't deserve everything he has now. Nobody deserves anything good." Now instead, Jeffrey
Dang. Okay. See, a lot of times I think people just haven't found the right kind of people. Everybody that says like, "Oh, I hate people. I want to be alone." I just think that you just hate tendencies of people that are kind of not fitting in your lifestyle. But like to talk down about random people like this, especially a therapist who's probably trying to help them, it's like, how would they feel if they found out somebody was talking that way about them? It's the same shit that's caused them to have the issues that they have. You get me? Doesn't make sense to me, but that's a lot of chicken.
had his own methods of therapy in mind. Since he was a gun enthusiast, he believed that teaching Samantha how to shoot would give her a sense of power and control over her anxiety. And so he bought 2 handguns for Samantha before she'd even turned years old, a 9mm Glock and a 6 Sauer .22. He kept them in the house in a locked safe, which he called the fun safe. Now after receiving the gun, Samantha was so excited that she posted a photo of one of them to her Tumblr page with the caption, "Happy birthday to me." Now Jeffrey had tried to use the guns as a bonding tool between the two of them, so after presenting the gift to her, Jeffrey took Samantha shooting on his friend's stand. But despite this show of affection,
Yo, I know a lot of people don't really like guns, but I feel like that's actually kind of healthy when doing it in the right way. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it is. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Samantha documented her internal disdain for her father. In one of her entries in the manifesto, she wrote, "I've grown around people who do not care or give one single care in the world, and smoke their lungs out with weed, or drink as much as they can like my own father." Now after their shooting day together, Jeffrey proudly posted a picture of Samantha on his Facebook page, but there was a little detail in the photo he missed. Samantha wore a KMFDM shirt, a German industrial rock band that was loved by the Columbine shooters, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the same ones
Ooh.
idolized by Audrey Elizabeth Hale in the last case. Now in video footage,
I feel like there's such a reoccurring set of people that influence things like this, like the Columbine people. I think it's kind of crazy. Like, I just feel like they've influenced so much bad in the world, and I don't understand again why people get like inspired by this kind of stuff. There's so many beautiful things to be inspired by. Why this? You know, there's poets, there's warriors, there's people who have like industrialized certain methods of like thinking and being when it comes to like different religions, when it comes to philosophy, when it comes to like there's just so many groundbreaking ways to think that you can learn from other people. Why these guys? You know what I mean? Like who the fuck?
Klebold, the same ones idolized by Audrey Elizabeth Hale in the last case. Now in video footage taken by Eric at his high school, he wore the exact same shirt.
She's wearing a t-shirt for the little-known German band KMFDM. The gunman from the Columbine massacre also wore KMFDM t-shirts.
And this similarity wasn't just coincidence. By May 2024, Samantha was regularly communicating online with people who liked violent content. One of her closest contacts was Damian Blade Allen, a troubled man from Loxahatchee, Florida, who was 7 years older than Samantha. Now the pair had a twisted romantic relationship over several months. They exchanged "I love you" and "I love you more" texts, but they also fantasized over mass violence. Reportedly, Samantha texted him that she wanted to do a black church that was near me. in reference to possible attack locations. Meanwhile, Damien
That's
told her
weird
he had
as fuck.
several places in mind, including a police department. In
This is also in Tennessee. What the fuck?
another message, Samantha and Damien had made a pact, saying, "We go down together." Now, around the same period, Samantha started trying to guess the code to the gun safe, which turned out to be Jeffrey's social security number simply backwards. And after figuring that out, in text with Damien, she bragged about her exes, saying, "I got 2 of my father's 9mm and a cool shirt, LMAO." Now, Samantha would also socialize with another man online named Solomon Henderson, a 16-year-old from Nashville. Like
He looks
Samantha,
crazy.
Solomon looked up to masked attackers from around the world, calling them saints, and wanting to achieve the same kind of status he believed they had. And even though Solomon was
Why? Whoa. This is like the last dude I thought would be doing some shit like this, okay? What the fuck?
black, he echoed anti-Semitic and white supremacist ideas. He was
What?
very vocal about how he hated his race, and he spent most time consuming online content that focused on satanic themes and extreme violence.
The
Samantha,
violent Uncle
Damien, and
Ruckus?
Solomon were part of a larger community of tightly bonded mutuals who consistently interacted online, sharing stylized weapon photos and discussing their belief that school shootings were a noble response to society's unfairness. Now, by November of 2024, she was fully radicalized. In her manifesto, she declared, "I've grown to hate people and society. It's truly not my fault though. It never was. What all of you and the world have done to me is pick and tease me. You've pushed me into a corner with no help whatsoever. Humanity is filth, and I don't like filth, nor want to live in it, nor should anyone else." Now, this manifesto documented how much she idolized mass attackers. For one, she wrote about Arda Küçüküdem, an 18-year-old who
Never heard
attacked
of him.
5 people with a knife in Turkey in August of 2024. She called him an ultimate saint, death's mate or not, still willing to do what he did. Months later, her fascination with these mass attackers would make headlines, because on December 15, 2024, her father stepped out to run errands in the evening, and while he was away, Samantha stole the Glock, the 6-hour, and over 100 rounds of ammunition. And she'd summed this moment up coldly in her
What the-
manifesto when she wrote, "I got the weapons by lies and manipulation, and my father's stupidity." Then came the morning
Dang, bro. Watch your kids, yo. Some of them be evil-minded and be influenced by other people that are evil-minded. You gotta pay attention to what's going on. What the fuck? Like, you gotta know what's happening with your kids. Really. Like, really. Keep them on lock, guys.
of December 16, 2024. That fateful day, Samantha got up and put on the black t-shirt branded with the band KMFDM. She then packed her weapons into a standard JanSport backpack and then made her way to Abundant Life Christian High School by Uber, arriving at around 10:39 a.m. And once she entered the building, Samantha headed straight to the second floor bathroom. And at the same time, teacher Erin Mitchell West sat in front of a study hall class in room C218. She was a 42-year-old mother who lived in DeForest, Wisconsin, and she'd been a substitute teacher at the school for 3 years and had just finally been given a permanent role. Now, the class was full of students of various age groups and grade levels. Among her class was Ruby Patricia Vergara, a 15-year-old avid reader who sang and played the keyboard. Now, their class started as it always had during Mondays, though this time they weren't aware that Samantha was in the second floor bathroom loading her weapons.
Nobody
Samantha,
ever is.
locked inside of a second floor bathroom stall, sent her completed manifesto to an unidentified online contact via WhatsApp. She waited for a response, but when she didn't receive one, she went on and posted this image to her ex account at 11:50 a.m. The image showed her doing an okay hand sign, and while it looks ordinary, this symbol has been tied to extremist white supremacist circles, and it was infamously flashed by Brenton Tarrant after committing the Christchurch mosque shootings in 2019. And beneath the picture was a link to her complete
I never knew that.
manifesto. And shortly after making this post,
I really thought that shit was innocent, y'all. I thought that shit was just like some funny haha joke shit that everybody did in school. What the fuck?
she walked out. Now at 10:57 a.m., Samantha entered the classroom where Erin was in front of the class. And in the 4 minutes that followed, Samantha fired her gun 21 times. She shot Erin, ending her life immediately. And after that, chaos ensued as the students panicked for cover. But Samantha somehow remained eerily silent and mechanical throughout. And so after shooting her, she turned her attention to the students and shot them indiscriminately. Rudy was fatally shot while trying to take cover. 6 other people were also shot and injured. These included 5 students and 1 teacher whose identities weren't made public. And after she was done shooting, Samantha
Damn,
made
bro.
her way to one of the student desks. She sat down and then checked herself out of this world with a single gunshot. Now at 11:05, less than 10 minutes after the attack began, police officers entered the classroom to find Samantha lifeless. And within minutes, officers secured the scene and staff began evacuating students from the building. And by 11:20, a public safety alert was sent to nearby phones, alerting all the parents in the area about what had happened.
I heard gunshots and screaming, and it was all really scary.
That's
The day after the
terrifying.
attack, Samantha's father's house was raided.
This is where a school shooter grew up. A modest ranch home on Madison's north side. Front door temporarily replaced with a blanket after law enforcement officers forced their way inside on Monday.
And during the raid in Samantha's room, the police found maps of the school and a cardboard model of the school building. She also had a handwritten schedule of the attack, and it revealed that in contrast to what actually happened, she planned to start the shooting at 11:30, wiping out the first and second floors of the school, and finally only ending at 12:10 p.m., 40 minutes later, with the notation, "Ready for death." The
So
police also uncovered
meticulous.
a printed out version of her manifesto, War Against Humanity, and before leaving the house, they seized her computers and other electronic devices so they could investigate her motive. Now the following day, a 20-year-old California man, one of Samantha's Discord mutuals, was arrested. His name was Alexander Pattendorf. The police had discovered messages between them, where she could be seen helping him plan an attack on a government building. Alexander was then placed under an emergency protective order, banning him from owning or purchasing a firearm for 3 years. Then on January 22nd, 2025, just over a
Just
month
3
after
years?
Samantha's attack,
I think that
Solomon
should be
Dennis opened
longer.
fire in his school cafeteria, killing a 15-year-old student and then leaving this earth on his own. Now in April of the same year, police received a tip.
Bro, that just shows you how like these groups are influencing each other to do worse and worse things. That's crazy. And this like 764 is a group that influences a lot of people to do things like this. Just terrible, terrible stuff. There are whole Discord groups, whole like subreddits, whole places that are I don't know about subreddits, but I'm sure there is. There's a whole lot of places online that are dedicated to groups of people who just want to talk about hurting other people for no reason because they're sick and like masochistic.
Which turned their attention to Damien Blade Allen, and they would then proceed to search Damien's home on suspicion that he was planning a violent attack as well. And during the search, the investigators uncovered 18 firearms, with 12,000 rounds of ammunition, body armor, grenades, flashbangs, and badges. They also found fake police uniforms in the arsenal. And upon checking his online messages, they would uncover multiple plots which Damien had created to commit mass attacks, just like Samantha. And so now he's currently in jail awaiting his trial.
Damien Allen in court Monday in Palm Beach County, Florida. Sheriff's deputies say he was plotting a mass shooting at 7 locations.
This
He deserves that
is
shit.
one of the best arrests that I've seen in a long time that has prevented people from dying, because I guarantee you he was going to do that.
Now 5 months after the attack, on May 8, 2025, Samantha's father, Jeffrey, was arrested on charges of contributing to the delinquency of a child and 2 counts of providing a dangerous weapon to a person under 18, resulting in death, to which he later said that teaching Samantha how to handle guns safely was his biggest mistake. But by then, of course, it was already too late. Now the story would take an even more tragic turn on
He taught the wrong girl that shit, but I don't think he meant to do that, obviously. But I do think he deserves to be punished for negligence.
August 1st, 2025. When Samantha's mother, Melissa, was found dead, apparently by her own hand. She'd spent 8 months living with what happened, but in the end, it was too much.